storm surges, heavy rain, and strong winds. Now, the hurricane's eye came onto land south of Sarasota, a region that hasn't had a hurricane this powerful in more than 100 years. And the storm is now barreling across the Sunshine State. CBS national correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti is in downtown Tampa. And Jonathan, it looks like you are experiencing the brunt of this storm.
Nora, we are being hammered by 80-mile-per-hour winds. You could really see the power of this storm just by looking at these trees and the rain pelting the road. Already half a foot of rain has fallen. We're expecting anywhere from 12 to 18 inches. A lot of flash flooding, and a roof nearby just blew off a building. Thousands of first responders are stationed here. They're riding out this storm inside. That means anyone who did not evacuate that needs help is going to have to wait until after this storm passes, Nora.
Jonathan, I know you are going to take shelter now. Thank you very much. CBS's Lonnie Quinn joins us now with the very latest on Hurricane Milton's path. Good evening, Lonnie.
Good evening, Nora. I'll tell you, a little wobble with this storm has made a huge difference for a place like Tampa, and I'm talking a 10, 15-mile wobble. So as we speak right now, Tampa is in the northern eye wall. They are not experiencing storm surge. In fact, it's the opposite. It's called reverse storm surge, where all the water in the bay is being pushed back out into the Gulf of Mexico. A place like, say, Fort Myers, Port Charlotte, just to the south now of Tampa, you are catching the biggest storm surge. It's going to be rising during the overnight hours. You could end up with 10, 15 feet of storm surge. The storm will move across the peninsula. It'll get to Orlando, all the theme parks as a Cat 1, 75-mile-per-hour winds around 2 o'clock in the morning, eventually exiting the eastern seaboard probably sometime between 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning. What a storm, Nora.
Thank you, Lonnie. For updates on Hurricane Milton, stay with CBS News 24/7, and there will be full coverage tomorrow on CBS Mornings. This has been a CBS News Special Report. I'm Nora O'Donnell.
Really got sloppy, or how did they characterize it?
Well, he did consume alcohol, and there were times that they had seen him drunk.
Including some witnesses told police at the party on the night he disappeared.
He was kind of creating somewhat of a little bit of a disturbance there and was asked to leave.
Praveen's friends expected him to meet up with them at a bar a few blocks away, but he never showed. They didn't see him the next day or the day after that. Finally, 4 days after he was reported missing, someone came forward with a tip. Praveen, it seemed, had scored a ride after the party. Cops tracked down the driver.
His statement was Praveen seemed to be intoxicated and was unable to tell where it was that he was going.
There'd been a fight, and the driver said Praveen had run into the woods at the edge of town.
Well, now we have an area to look for.
Teams fanned out to search. It didn't take long.
His body was laying in a little bit of a clearing. He didn't have a shirt on. He had a cell phone nearby.
Temperature had been 14
degrees
overnight.
Yes.
It looked as though Praveen had frozen to death in the woods.
So this is the worst possible news, of course, for the family.
Yes.
A police officer showed up at Lovely's hotel room door.
He said, we found Praveen, and I said, is he alive? He said, no.
And it turned out he was found in some rough woods, not all that far from the window of your motel.
400 yards from the motel.
All those days you were wondering where he was.
Yep.
I think that's always the hardest part for me, just thinking that he was alone and, there wasn't anyone by his side to tell him that